Hello Booktube, I'm Heather, and I'm here with one of my ridiculous once or twice a year personal challenges. It's time for No Borrow Month. I do No Borrow Months in the way that people do No Buy Months, or No Buy Years, or No Buy Quarters, or No Buy until I've read X number of books. I don't have a problem with buying books. I tend to borrow books from everywhere, from my public library, from academic libraries that I have access to, from the Internet Archive, or from the Gutenberg Library. The Gutenberg Project, I suppose, is more correct. So I borrow lots, and I usually reach a tipping point when I become frustrated with the difference between what I've borrowed and I am reading and finishing, and what is on a list of things that I say I want to read, and what I can see on my shelves. The shelves are full. And the shelves in the other room are full. And they're full of a mix of books that I read and knew I absolutely needed to have my own copy, and books that I'm planning on reading, and books that I planned on reading a long time ago. Books I acquired for a project decades ago in some cases. So I want to turn my attention away from the shiny new things, or at least a little bit away from the shiny new things, to things I already have. And in that case, it means slowing down my borrowing. So just before the 1st of July, I totted up how many books I had borrowed, and also how many books that I have, that I own, that I've started but not finished. And I've started but not finished this year. So something I may have started in January, but I put down because I borrowed something from the library that was somehow shinier. So it's a bigger number than I usually have to wrestle. I have 36 borrowed or unfinished books. And the unfinished books are books that I don't think I'm going to DNF. So they're books that I think I want to read, but the borrowed books are in the way. So we're going to slow down the flow of borrowed books by not borrowing any more for the next 4 weeks, so from the 1st of July to the 31st of July. And maybe if I get through it happily another week or two after that. It's mostly just going to be 4 weeks. So I do this partly to turn my attention to what I already have and to create some breathing room before the fall releases. I do these no borrows a couple times a year, and usually for 4 weeks. And by the end of the no borrow period, I am usually crawling the wall because I want to go get a new book. I need a new book. I need a new book from the library. It's never, I need a new book that comes from the bookstore. It's always from the library. My own peculiar psychology. But that kind of grumpiness at the end of the no borrow month is really useful to me, because it lets me see where my real interest is. It helps me clear out a little bit of the desire for the new shiny and think about, do I want that book really? Do I really want to borrow that book? Because my hold list at the library has 90 books on it, and the books I'm interested in book lists on my library apps are 600 or 700 books. Ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. So the no borrow helps me read the books I already have, one way or the other, and it also shores up my sense of discernment of what I actually want to read. What do I actually enjoy? What am I picking up mechanically because it's on a prize list? What am I picking up because it's on my shelf and I've been meaning to read it for a long time? What have I picked up and started and put down and I haven't faced the fact that it's boring me to tears? What have I left on my shelf unread because it was a project from 20 years ago and I'm not ready to let it go yet? So that kind of ability to see my own reading behavior and to reflect on my own reading experience is sharper for me if I'm in the middle of a no borrow. Am I crabby in the middle of a no borrow? You betcha. Does it work for me? Yes. I've done this several times and it always is clarifying. So the stats right now are, I had at the beginning of July 36 books in hand that I had borrowed or have started and not finished, started in this calendar year. And today, as I'm filming, I'm down by 3. So that's progress, tiny bit of progress. What's that, 10% down? A little bit more than 10%. And I'm hoping that this will give me better sense of what I want to read. There are rules. I'm not allowed to borrow from my public library. I'm not allowed to borrow from any one of the 9 libraries, academic libraries I have access to books. I might download an article or 2. I'm allowed to buy books, but that's kind of unlikely. Other than that, the only books I am allowed to borrow are, I think, 3 that I need for a reading group that I belong to. Other than that, no borrowing. I am not allowed to touch my library card for the next little while. And no ebooks, no print books, no downloading from Internet Archive. It's going to make me a little squirrely, but it's going to make me happy at the end of it. So we're going to give it a try. A no borrow month. Started at 36. I'm down to 33. I have a row of library books here and so many unread books. I hope you maybe have similarly weird reading projects that help you get through the books you thought you wanted to read but haven't started. Let me know. And I hope you have had a good week. Bye-bye. Oh, and wish me luck. I need a lot of luck.